But we wouldn't be talking about religion per se, we're going to be talking about music. Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner.
Where's Cameroon outside?
Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner at the African Center for Community and Development. I am Arrey Ivo. Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner at the African Center for Community and Development. I am Arrey Ivo. Today we shall be looking at a poem by Oswald Mbuyeseni Mtshali. Oswald Mbuyeseni Mtshali was born in 1940 in South Africa, and he lived in Johannesburg and has as his collections Sounds of a Cowhide Drum. In today's program, we shall be treating his poem called Keep Off the Grass. And the poem reads thus: The grass is a green mat, trimmed with gladioli, red like flames in a furnace. The park bench, hallowed, holds the loiterer listening to the chant of the fountain, showering holy water on a congregation of pigeons. Keep off the grass. Dogs not under leash, forbidden. Then Madame walks her Pekingese, bathed and powdered and perfumed. He sniffs at the face of the keep off sign with a nose as cold as frozen fish, and salutes it with a hind paw, leaving it weeping in anger and shame. This poem, it's a poem that depicts a cosmopolitan setup, class divides, possibly racial divides that were very pertinent in South Africa, pregnant with the rules of discrimination that were common in the days of apartheid. We should look at the poem critically though. It starts, the grass is a green mat. It shows an area of the city that has been well taken care of. Trimmed with gladioli, red like flames in a furnace, which means the flowers are really very fresh. They are compared to the flames in a furnace, which means the redness is really something that will catch the eye. And if it were the case, then it means probably they are well watered. The park bench, hallowed, holds the loiterer listening to the chant of the fountain, showering holy water on a congregation of pigeons. The poet uses hyperbole to paint his picture. The fountain is said to be chanting, and its water is said to be holy, giving it an almost mass-like or Catholic dimensions, the solemnity of a Catholic mass. And the pigeons that have come to drink, that fly around this fountain, are said to be a congregation. The poet is trying to magnet our feelings to his immediate environment, and therefore has used powerful imagery to capture our attention. Keep off the grass, that is how the next verse starts. And it starts with capital letters, meaning that we are looking at a signpost. And we also see that the poet is trying to alliterate his topic, the title of the poem, by repeating it in the second verse. And it reads, dogs not under leash, forbidden. It really shows that it's a place well taken care of, and not everybody visits the place, and stray dogs will not be allowed. Hence, there's surely a divide between those areas of the city where dogs stray with this area where most people surely have the means to keep them under leash. The poet goes more to say, then Madame walks her Pekingese. And we now have a detailed picture of the kind of dogs and the kind of persons who visit this area. While the poet seems to be a loiterer, or the speaker or the observer seems to be a loiterer, we see a woman who is a madame, probably married to a rich person, walking her Pekingese, bathed and powdered and perfumed. He sniffs at the face of the keep off sign. It's a kind of like the dog mocks at the sign. This might be another way that the poet is using an animal to mock at what he looks at as a social divide. So the dog sniffs at the keep off sign with a nose as cold as frozen fish. Well, many of us know dogs have cold noses, but like frozen fish is also another hyperbole, and the simile here is just to heighten the fact that the nose of the dog is probably an unwanted issue to be on that keep off sign, except it has a purpose, and salutes it with the hind paw, leaving it weeping in anger and shame. Typically, when dogs want to pee, they generally raise their hind paw, and sometimes if they want to run away, they also do this gesture. But in this case, it's more likely that the dog seems to have left the products of its cold nose on the keep off sign, showing that despite the fact that it is trying to talk about racial divide, it's trying to create a society in which we have upper class and lower class intermingling to enjoy the proceeds of the park. The dog has now actually denigrated such a society. So the poet has effectively used the symbol of a dog, the symbol of the keep off sign, to decry or to say loudly that he hates societies that are founded on inequality and discrimination as it pertained to South Africa at the time. But if we look at the relevance of this poetry to today, we'll actually see that it is very relevant to Africa and to many other societies, where society is divided based on class, on wealth, on race, and on so many other factors, on color, and this has actually impacted on how these societies are perceived within and outside, and has also led to some social injustices that we cannot all list here. So we can say Oswald Mbuyeseni Mtshali effectively painted the South Africa of his time, which is still relevant to those societies that are still divided on various aspects. And I think it's an apt description of how society based on rules sometimes leave the vulnerable out of the benefits of the proceeds of everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in to the program Poetry Corner at the African Center for Community and Development. It has been Arrey Ivo. See you next time. Well, we wouldn't be talking about religion per se, we're going to be talking about music. Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner.
Where's Cameroon outside?
Good day and welcome to Poetry Corner at the African Center for Community and Development. I'm Arrey Ivo.